All right. Hello, and how's it going? I'm here working on the 2009 Ford Expedition, getting ready to do these front rotors and pads, and I'm about to get ready and show you guys what I use to get the job done. I used the size 21 socket to get off the lug nuts. Alright, I used a flathead, some Milwaukee grips, and for the brake caliper bracket, a size 18 socket. Alright, so for the upper caliper screw, there's like a boot on here. I pretty much just use a flathead, pop this off, and it's the first time I actually changed brakes on this vehicle. So I just ran into this, and looks like it needs a hex bit. All right, it uses a size 9. So what I did was I pretty much just used these grips right here, tighten them up with the flathead, and turned it in a direction to where I loosened it. Once it became loose, I used the size 9 Allen wrench to take off this upper caliper bolt. So yeah, it was hard for me to find that hex bit. Alright, it fits flush in there. And I also hung up the caliper, you know, with some bungee cords up here to give it that support so you don't put too much stress on the brake hose. Alright, so pretty much before you put the new pads on, make sure both of the pistons on the caliper are retracted. That way you can get your new pads on there. So pretty much here, I'm on the front passenger side right now. I had already started the job and used a size 18 socket to loosen up the brake caliper bracket bolts. All right, so you have two of them. You have this one at the bottom, and then moving up to this one at the top. So, overview of where I am now. Just took out the brake caliper bracket bolts, both of them. They go here, which as you can see behind it, there is the location here and here, right there. So pretty much that's what's holding on the rotor. Okay, and it is now off. This is the old rotor. Okay, so now I gotta take these clips off and then use a wire brush, you know, brush all of this rust, dirt, and grime and everything out of here. All right, so I got some brake hardware just getting ready to go on the bracket. So make sure you put the open end here, put the clips there, put the open end exposed, and push down on there. All right, and here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so now I got those on there. Put a little bit of brake grease on all 4 clips, not too much, just a tad bit. All right, a comparison of the old and the new rotors. All right, I got the new rotor on there. I put a lug nut on there to keep it on straight, because once you put the bracket on here, it definitely have to be straight. It's pretty heavy, so it's gonna help out a lot. All right, so pretty much I'm putting in the caliper bracket bolts, starting them off, you know, by hand, making sure they go in there straight. Yeah, and once I pretty much get them farther all the way in there, Then I'm gonna, before I put the tire on, I'm gonna spray everything down with some brake clean. And once it get about to this part or this far, after a while I'm gonna grab the torque wrench and tighten it to torque specs. Alright, so I'm back after using the torque wrench. The torque specs on the brake caliper bracket bolts is 180 foot-pounds, 180 foot-pounds. So after that, now I'll go back up here to the top with the caliper, retract the pistons all the way, and once you do that, you get your new pads. Make sure your new pads, you match them up to the correct side. So this will be the inner pad. Okay, see those clips right there? They go inside of those pistons right there, the piston cups. All right, and this will be your outer pad. Okay, I'm gonna show you a clip of the newer ones put on. All right, so this is the inner one on the inside of the piston cups of the caliper, and this is the outer pad. So pretty much you work with it, get them both on there, and that way it sits up nice and straight on the bracket. All right, so when you're putting your pads on there or putting the whole caliper on, make sure everything lines up. So on this part, we have a clip on the outer pad. It's supposed to go inside of this slot up here at the top, and then also here at the bottom. I'm definitely gonna work on that, get that in there, but I just want to show you this because I don't have a phone stand or anything like that. And then on the inside, that clip at the bottom sits like right there on this outer lip of the bracket. Okay, so I'm gonna try to give you a better view. And then working up here at the top, well, going to the top, same thing. Those metal pins or clips supposed to sit in those positions. Okay, and I pretty much use a flathead to help me out. Okay, and then once you do that, you push it in position. So pretty much that way, this part up here for the upper sliding pin, it lines up with the hole on the housing on the bracket, and then it should line up at the bottom as well. Okay, all right, so once those line up, then you got your clip that originally comes here. You have to make sure you get that on there too. So this is how this clip looks, inside of this top hole here and the bottom hole there. This piece goes on this lip of the bracket, and that goes on the bottom half. So I have to get the slider pins in on top and down at the bottom. Before you put those in, make sure you wipe them off, clean them off nice and clean. And I'm gonna put some grease on there and get them back in there. All right, so those slider pins, got the top one here and the bottom one down there here. Okay, and I'm about to get ready and tighten it up. And I believe the torque specs was, if you happen to have a hex bit, it'd be a lot easier for your torque specs, but I don't, so I gotta try the best that I can do. And it's supposed to be 27 foot-pounds, bottom and top. Okay, after you get both sliding pins in, make sure you get your clips to the boots, what covers to the boots. One goes at the top and one goes in at the bottom. Okay, that'll be on there, and I'm about to get ready and spray this with some brake clean it off a bit. Okay, so I'm about to get ready and put the tire on now. All right, so I am back, and this is the new rotor with the new pads on there. Okay, you got 6 lug nuts. Make sure you tighten them in the star pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, and the torque specs on those should be 150 foot-pounds. And don't forget, once you get done with that, to pump those brakes. Before you do that, let's go back up top. Before you even pump the brakes, well, before I pump mine, what I'm gonna do is remove this rag on the brake fluid reservoir, put this top back on here, and then pump those brakes. So you try to get less air in that system, or no air in that system. Okay. All right, this is the front driver's side, and this is the side I will be working on now. Yeah, that side is real bad. Okay, thank you guys for watching.